Hi, welcome back to Night After Night. I'm Allan Havey, and my special guest tonight is a writer-director of many cult classics, including Putney Swope, Shaped Elbows, and Greaser's Palace. And he has a new movie coming out later this month called Too Much Sun. Please welcome writer-director Robert Downey. Hi, welcome to Night After Night on our last show.
Thanks. This is my last movie. Don't worry about it.
Now, how long has it been since your last film before Too Much Sun?
Let's see, about 5 years.
Now, do you wait until an idea hits you, or does it take you that long to get a film going?
I think it's a lot of both.
Yeah, because you stayed out of the mainstream, basically of Hollywood. You know, going by the book filmmaking. You started in the '60s in Greenwich Village.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get started?
I was an off-Broadway playwright, one of the first, and there was a guy writing for the Village Voice then, Jonas Mekas, whose column every week stated that anybody could make a movie, and if you're a writer, that's all you had to hear. So found a cameraman and started making a film.
It was that easy? You just went out and
yeah,
found
back
somebody?
then that was it. In fact, one of my films, Kennedy, was in Europe, so it was a political movie about the President of the United States who had a right and left-wing advisors who kept switching positions on him. We went down and shot in the White House with a little camera and ran around with because nobody bothered you.
You went to the actual White House?
Exactly. I mean, we didn't get into any great rooms, but in the halls on that tour, we had a little camera. It was like that big, and you'd wind it. And
oh, they didn't mind that you had a camera with you?
They didn't notice. We got lucky because Kennedy wasn't around, and they didn't seem to care.
So you had it in like a cheese box or something?
That's, yeah.
Really? I just guessed that. But
that's basically what it was.
Oh, I don't even know what a cheese box is.
Well, it's just a box with the cheese taken out.
Okay, now, what was the, I mean, you were in Greenwich Village in the '60s. What was the attitude, what else was going on at that time? It must have been a very kind of free feeling, you know, the artists and the folk movement and...
Well, the movie thing was great because there was a place called the Charles Theater over on Avenue A that a guy decided he wanted to show new kinds of movies, so anybody could bring a film. You just had to have it there 3 hours before they might show it, and it went on for like 2 weeks, just 24 hours. And some very interesting filmmakers came through there, and you could, if you didn't have a soundtrack, you put up some music on a tape, and people just came in and out, and the music thing was going on, and it just it was an exciting time to just think you could make a movie and express yourself without having to go to meetings.
Now, who are some of the other filmmakers around at that time?
Well, there's Ron Rice, who's not with us now, and Ed Emshwiller and Stan Brakhage. Those are the guys that, you know, that came through when I came through.
Now, was there anything like, I mean, you were in the Army. Someone told me you dropped out of school in 9th grade, or you got kicked out?
Yeah.
What was the story there?
Well, I was an athlete and wasn't interested in writing, so I went to join the Army underage to get away from it all, whatever that was, in the 50s.
Yeah. And
I wasn't an idiot. Korea was just finalized, so it was easy.
But someone told me you were court-martialed like 3 times or something like that? What happened? What'd you do?
Oh my God!
No, you can tell us.
Something I can tell you. I
won't tell anybody.
I know you won't.
It won't leave the studio.
All right, so last time I'm telling anybody.
Okay. Yeah, because it's the last show.
Exactly. The first time, a friend and I were drunk, and we were in Alaska, and we unplugged everything before we called in a little fake attack from the Soviet Union one night.
Wait, you unplugged
We
everything?
were radar viewers, you know, scope watchers. And that was worth a few months.
You just like unplugged the radar?
No, we unplugged the communications that the guy could have called back to the main thing and said there really was and we just plotted little arrows, and we were both drunk. And that was some time.
And the second time?
Second time, I think, was leaving my post without telling anybody and going to a dance in town. This was in the state of Washington. And the guy who dropped me off at the post happened to be at the dance, so he couldn't quite figure it out. Here I was in peg pants. Remember, this is the 50s.
Now, were you a fan of movies before you got started this? You weren't like a film buff? There's no major influences of directors in your life?
Well, Preston Sturges, once I started doing it, I found out about him in the 60s and just went to watch all his movies because they showed them in batches up at the New Yorker. That was great.
And there was a guy who would write his own films, direct. I mean, he had pretty much total creative control for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
For most of his films. Is that something that you've always wanted and held on to, or?
Well, I don't think of it as control, but if you write it, usually nobody, if they give you the money once you write it, they don't bother you because they figure he must know to go make the movie. It's when you don't write it, there are usually 50 opinions. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't valid. It's just hard to make a movie that you're just, you know, especially a comedy, I guess, when you're a hired hand.
Now, you live in Los Angeles now?
Yeah.
And you took a train out here to New York because
yeah.
you don't like to fly. Are you spending more time in L.A. now?
Yeah, I live there now. And Boston, we went to Boston and then down here, you know, because the film's opening. And I don't fly.
Now, do you find it harder, though, to make a film in Los Angeles? I mean, the way you obviously want to make films, it seems like it'd be a tougher place to work in Hollywood and the structure that's there.
Well, this one wasn't so tough because it takes place in Los Angeles, and as far as making another one there, it's just tough because you've seen every location there ever was on television, never mind in movies. So for us to find something that looked a little different, you know, was not easy, but I think we might have managed.
Okay, yeah,
that way.
You don't want to get the same thing that people have seen in Starsky and Hutch.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I'm talking to Robert Downey. We're talking about his new film. We're going to come back and show you a clip called Too Much Sun. I'm Allan Havey. We'll be right back after this.